Everyone speaks of being natural. Everyone claims to be simple. But Saint Kabir asks us a haunting question. If the whole world speaks of simplicity, why does almost no one truly know it? We live in a strange world. We exhaust our lives weaving layers of lies, calculating our next move, and planning how to deceive. We think this complexity is intelligence, but a mind filled with noise is a mind that is asleep. In this unconscious state, we miss the miracle, we miss the truth. But imagine a state where the mind stops, where time becomes zero, where action happens without the weight of desire. It is a state where a simple rickshaw puller holds more wealth than a billionaire, and where a clay pot made with pure devotions holds the power to heal a princess. This is the zero state, the state of Shiva. Saint Kabir teaches us that without awareness, there is no knowledge, and without effortless knowledge, there is no knower. Are you ready to drop the mask and experience the divine? Let us walk this path to the timeless truth.
Saint Kabir has a couplet, Sahaj Sahaj sab koi kahe, Sahaj na chinhai koi. Jin sahjai vishyataji, Sahaj kahijai soi. It means people casually speak of being natural and effortless. Yet few grasp what it really means. When desire and indulgence fall away, that is when Sahaj appears. The second couplet is, Sudh bin Sahaj Gyan bin Gyata. Kehe Kabir Jan Sohi. It can be said, without awareness there is no effortless knowledge. Without effortless knowledge there is no knower. Saint Kabir says this is the truth of a realized human being. Let us start with the first couplet. Sahaj Sahaj sab koi kahe, Sahaj na chinhai koi. Jin sahjai vishyataji, Sahaj kahijai soi. This world is very strange world. Without knowing anything and without the experience of knowledge, people talk big about wisdom. They consider themselves great knowers. But everyone only talks about being natural. What is it to be natural in real life? About this, person knows not even a trace. People do not experience anything internally regarding this, nor do they know, nor do they feel it. They only talk about being Sahaj or natural. Understand it like this, that person who is deceitful in mind, who cheats with his mind, who always speaks lies, and confuses others with his speech, his life becomes polluted. He remains completely ignorant of knowledge. What is knowledge? He has no idea about it. You can understand this yourself. A polluted and deceitful heart cannot be natural and simple. His life remains covered with layers of lies. Such person's mind stays miles away from truth and simplicity. His mind is always filled with some kind of unethical thoughts. He keeps making plans to confuse society. He does not walk on the path of truth. He thinks from his mind about plans on how to cheat others. He creates them and brings them into his life. His entire life remains tangled in the weaving of such unethical schemes. His nature, his behavior, and his methods of living remain in this confusion of how to mislead someone. He is never simple and natural, nor does he make any effort to improve himself and walk on the path of simplicity, naturalness, and truth. Such person keeps making thousands of plans of lies in his mind to hide one lie, so that the reality within him is not revealed to others in any form. On the contrary, the second type of person always walks on the path of truth with mind, speech, and action. He speaks the truth and follows the truth in every situation. When his life is like this, he is always simple and natural. His life moves according to truthfulness. Such a person's mental energy and mental power are not wasted in making any false and unethical plans. He conserves his mental energy, he saves it. A person walking on truth does not need to make any plans. He can do all work naturally. A truthful and natural person is always fearless because he speaks the truth and lives his life fearlessly. The one walking on the path of truth is capable and qualified in every way to express unique thoughts from the depths of his heart with simplicity and naturalness. Naturally, good thoughts appear within him. The main reason for this is that by living in naturalness, such person becomes the form of truth, divinity, and beauty. The one who speaks the truth faces no difficulty in life. He lives with ease. He experiences peace in the form of Shiva. His form becomes like essence of Shiva. He is a symbol of peace. Just by being peaceful, extraordinary physical and mental talent comes to him. He himself does not even realize it. These are the greatest difficult states that come in life. Coming into this state, he is able to create beautiful and original creations. This is the image of truth and naturalness. His life takes the form of beauty in every way. Living naturally is like living in Sahajata or in simplicity. Living in naturalness, he can follow the truth with great simplicity. Only in truth there is peace, there is no fear. Internal growth is possible only by living in truth. Peace comes by living in truth, and by being peaceful, deep original thinking and thoughts come to his mind. Just as we know that the depth of still water can be seen, similarly a still mind can reveal deep thoughts. All this is the gift of simplicity. This deep thinking of his brings deep vision in him too. He experiences everything deeply. From naturalness to truth, or from truth to naturalness, brings a natural lifestyle in person. This makes him virtuous, and a virtuous person is in God. All qualities of God start appearing in him. Divinity becomes his nature. You can understand simplicity and naturalness deeply through a small story. A father had a very beautiful daughter. Her appearance was unique. She was a 6 or 7-year-old girl. Seeing her, It felt like God Himself was residing in her. She loved her father very much, and the father also loved her very much. Once the father had to do some important work. He said to the girl, "I am doing very important work. You sit in the outer room, and if anyone rings the bell, tell them that father is busy and doing some great work." Saying this, the father went into his room and the girl sat outside. After a while, someone came near the door. He rang the bell. So, the girl opened the door. That person said, "I want to meet your father." The girl paused for a while and then said to that person, "My father has said that he is in the room. He is very busy and is doing some deep work. And he said that if anyone comes, tell them like this that father is not at home." Now from this simplicity and naturalness, you can sense how many divine qualities were in the child. She could not speak a lie, even a trace, and she even said that father said he is not at home. This is the great form of simplicity, naturalness, and truth. You can understand this in another way also. That person is natural only when he works smoothly without the desire for the fruit. He considers doing the work as his duty. When he works without desire, his every action becomes non-action or akarma. In this condition, his state is zero state and divine state. He offers everything to God. He surrenders everything to God. Apart from God, there is nothing else in his life. This is the natural Sahaj state. That means, working smoothly without desire for the fruit is divine state. It can be said that work done without desire for the result takes you to the divine state by itself. Because work without fruit is non-action. Every such action is non-action. There is no obstacle in this kind of action. This action goes straight into the universe. And when the action done by you goes into the universe, then it is offered to God Himself. Whatever the result of the work may be, such person accepts that result as the prasad or gift of God. This gift of God is God's love towards him. And the work done by him is love for God. Love flows on both sides. In this loving work, he naturally gets joy. In this work, he becomes the natural form of Shiva. That means he becomes completely peaceful like Shiva in every way. Lord Shiva did great works in a natural and simple state. When work is done in a natural and simple state, the person does not look at the result. Just as Lord Shiva gave a boon to Bhasmasura that whoever's head you place your hand on will turn to ash. God did not know that he would come to use this boon on God himself. This is the simple and natural state of Shiva. In naturalness, Lord Shiva consumed poison. With great ease, he used to hold a snake on his neck. He considered love play also as samadhi or state of ecstasy. Love play is a state of meeting God for him. In this love play, He had no eagerness to meet even Brahma and Vishnu. No matter how long they waited outside for him, he did not even realize it. He remained so absorbed in love play as if he had become one with God. Being in meditation or being in love play was one and the same for him. This is the greatest natural and simple state. Lord Shiva used to get absorbed in every task. He used to become the form of God. No one could harm him in these natural actions, because he was in God. If we also do any work with naturalness and simplicity and by being surrendered to God, then no one will be able to harm us in any form because our every action will be in God. That is why naturalness and simplicity have been given the name of Shivatva or essence of Shiva. In short, if it is said, naturalness is the prasad of God. This is Shivatva or divinity of Shiva. This comes only by the grace of God. The devotee naturally drowns in devotion if he has love for God. The devotee considers God as an infant. And just as we love our infant, that devotee also loves God just like he is loving an infant. We do not want anything from an infant. And when we also love God, if we do not desire to want anything from God, if love without desire becomes our life, then God will give us everything. Just as in the love of an infant we get everything, you can experience, if we love God like an infant, what will God not give us? He will give us everything. So the devotee naturally drowns in devotion. This naturalness and simplicity is the supreme state of God's love. Living in naturalness, in simplicity, a person reaches a deep state of meditation and becomes one with the divine in God's love. Saint Kabir's second couplet is, Sudh bin Sahaj Gyan bin Gyata. Keh Kabir Jan Sohi. Here Saint Kabir says that the person who lives in naturalness, he is in reality in truthfulness. He lives in truth only. Living in truth without naturalness and living in naturalness without truth is impossible. Living in naturalness, person makes only natural efforts because he remains awake. He remains without thoughts. Awareness itself is the state in God. Sudh means awareness, it comes only when person is natural. In awareness, the mind does not exist, because this is a state in God. In this, only consciousness rules, only consciousness remains. When the mind is not there in awareness, then thoughts are also not there. And in this state, breaths move only in name. From this, consciousness develops, and this development of consciousness is the state of knowledge, and from this a person becomes a great knower. Great knowledge comes from consciousness, that is, from the power of God. In this, no kind of effort has to be made. In this awareness knowledge grows, consciousness develops. In this state every kind of knowledge increases because the mind starts dissolving completely. This is the state of highest consciousness and knowledge. In this, the mind comes to a zero state. The mind becomes zero only when there are no thoughts, and the speed of breaths moves only in name. And you become one with God. Consciousness is the form of God. When knowledge comes into consciousness, this knowledge is everlasting. You do not have to keep this knowledge in the mind. It itself remains in your consciousness in an everlasting form. This knowledge makes an invisible home in consciousness. And in this consciousness, you have no sense of time. This can be understood even more deeply. Time exists in the past and in the future because your mind lives either in the situations of the past or in the planning of the future. The mind does not live in the present. If the mind stays in the present, it itself becomes zero because in the present, time is zero. In consciousness also, time is zero. When you are in the state of consciousness, your mind is not there, the mind is zero, then you become above time. Being above time is the existence of consciousness in the present. Being in the present or above time is the aware state of consciousness. Only in this state does the appearance of knowledge happen. Upon living in the present, there is no sense of time, time becomes zero. In zeroness is godliness and in zeroness knowledge comes. This is the truth of a self-realized person. A self-realized person lives in the present state. Zeroness is the thoughtless state. Knowledge takes the self-realized person to the supernatural state of God. In the present, in awareness, in the zero state, and in the thoughtless state, knowledge gets established within the devotee. This is Saint Kabir's message. Without knowledge there is no knower. Knowledge comes only in awareness and in the natural state. You can understand in other words that by living in the mind, a person remains in a sleeping state, remains in an unconscious state. In the unconscious state, one cannot obtain the knowledge of God until he becomes conscious. And without the knowledge of God, being a wise person is impossible. Knowledge comes only in the aware state, in the zero state, and in the thoughtless state. You can understand this even more deeply. A billionaire gentleman was going to one of his friends. The friend lived in a village. It was the friend's 25th wedding anniversary. When he was reaching near the village, his car broke down. It was a holiday, he could not even get the car fixed and he did not have time. Then he found a rickshaw puller there. The rickshaw puller agreed to take this rich person. The rickshaw puller asked for 50 rupees. The rich person said, "Not 50, I will give you 500 rupees, you get me there quickly." He sat in the rickshaw. The rickshaw puller was driving the rickshaw while humming happily. The speed at which he was driving the rickshaw, he could not drive faster than that. In between, the rickshaw puller got a phone call from his wife. So he listened to the phone. The wife was saying that, "The goat has died in my house." She was very upset. The rich person was listening to all this. The wife was crying that, "Yesterday someone was giving 8,000 rupees for it and I did not sell it and today it has died." The rich person was listening to her pain. But the death of the goat and the wife's pain had no effect on the rickshaw puller. The rickshaw puller said to the wife, 8,000 rupees was not in our destiny, that is why the goat died. No matter, this is what God accepted. I am bringing jalebi sweets for you at home, do not be upset. When the rich person heard this, he was very surprised. He looked into his own mind and felt, I get so upset even by losing 20,000 rupees, while I am the owner of millions and billions. And he has not even a little pain, no suffering over an 8,000 rupee goat. So he asked, do you have no pain over the goat dying? Then that person said this, my crying will not make the goat alive, so why should I be upset? What was not mine is lost. God gave it, God took it. He kept driving his rickshaw humming again. He said, what is the benefit of grieving? What happens by worrying? What has to happen is inevitable. When the rich person asked something else, the rickshaw puller said, Sir, sadness is born from thinking, born from our thoughts. There is no sadness in the heart. The heart is the form of God. It is this mind only that gives us pain. The rich person was very surprised that the rickshaw puller has so much knowledge. Then he asked, do you not care about your children? So he said, why should I care? I am educating them well as per my capacity. As much as their intellect is, they will study that much. If they have ability, they will grow more. I am giving them food and clothes and helping them. I am loving them. I cannot do anything more than this. Even if I leave something behind, what will be the benefit? If their mind and heart are not right, no matter how much wealth there is, they will waste it. I myself live happily in every moment. I am happy, I have no worry. I drive the rickshaw joyfully, I sing praises of God and fulfill my duty which is towards my family. The rest, whatever is in the children's destiny, they will become that themselves. I cannot change their destiny. These thoughts of his impressed the rich person very much. He started thinking in his mind, I have so much and my knowledge is equal to zero. I know nothing. How cheerful he is, how happy he is. I have wasted 50 years of life only in the greed of wealth. When his friend's house came, instead of giving 500 rupees, he gave him a bundle of 500 rupee notes and bowed down at his feet. Because he was very amazed by his deep knowledge and was also very impressed. He kept him with himself and told him, you stay with me. I will give everything for your children's education. You increase your knowledge, give knowledge to me too, and share this knowledge in the world which God has imprinted in your mind. This is the method of living in naturalness and simplicity. In whatever situation God keeps you, by being happy in that, God gave him such a great state in life just by speaking to words from a simple rickshaw puller, and he devoted his entire life towards God. By living with God, by living in truthfulness, by living in simplicity, God finds some way or another to unite you with himself so that you can walk on his path with ease. There is another small story. In a village, two potters lived, they lived together. One potter was a devotee of God, he used to make pots, sing hymns of God, and while making his pots, he did all work by remembering God's name. The second potter was very lazy. He would wake up late from sleep, and would not do his work properly either. Once what happened was that the princes of that country came to a river near them to bathe. And after bathing, she felt very cold. So she said to her servants, "Arrange for some fire." The servants could not arrange fire, so she saw a hut in front of her and said, "Set fire to this." Now she was a princess. As they received the order, the hut was set on fire. She felt good by the heat of the fire. And in short while, the Sadhu Maharaj whose hut it was, he arrived. He saw that my hut has been set on fire. So he gave a curse, "Now you will keep suffering from heat, your body will keep burning." The princess went home, and after that she could not sit in peace. Her body felt like it was on fire because it was the Sadhu's curse. So the king came to the Sadhu, asked for forgiveness from him. The Sadhu said, "If she is bathed by pouring water from a pot belonging to a wise person, then the fire of her body will end. If that pot is not made by a wise person or a devotee of God, then it will have no effect." So the king started looking for such a potter who is a devotee of God. When that lazy potter came to know that the king wants to obtain such a pot which is made by a wise person, and if water is poured from it, the princes will become healthy and the king will give him wealth and grain, will build him a house. So this lazy potter, he stole the neighbor potter's pot in the night and taking water in that pot, gave it to the king. And the princess got well. After a few days she fell ill again. When this potter was contacted, he gave water by pouring it in his own pot, but she did not get well. Then the king got very angry. Then this potter told the truth that I had given water by taking the neighbor's pot. Then the king contacted the second potter. He gave the pots made by him with devotion to the princess, water was poured into it and the princess became healthy. The king punished the first potter and filled this one with wealth and grain. So the purpose of the story is that any work done with truthfulness and devotion to God, the power of consciousness comes into it. And in the power of consciousness, any task becomes easy. The pot that was made with the power of consciousness and devotion to God, just by pouring water from it, the princes became healthy. You can experience yourself how much power is in devotion to God, in consciousness. Even in the pot made by the potter's hand, so much aura comes that the water put in it also becomes holy. It can provide health to others. If we settle God within us, remember God, then our every particle will increase with God's power. Our life will become supreme, our thoughts will become supreme, and we will become completely disease-free. This is the effect of naturalness and truthfulness in life. May God teach us the method of living in naturalness and truthfulness, and may we walk on this path. Then we can be partners of God's great grace. Thank you.